This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA. Oh!
Mixed martial a-holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole.
No way.
Oh! Yes! That's right! We are here. We are live from the Queen Studios of New York. UFC 226 Fight Week. Justin the Fort Sumter live on the MMA Holes. Here we go. Ready? MMA Holes! Yes! What a shit show. Oh my God. Justin, what's going on, man? How's it going today?
Good, man. Just got done training. Got some hard work done today, so, just relaxing right now, ready to hit the sack and start the day over again.
There we go. Now, Justin, it's good to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Contender Series has themselves a stud. The end of this month, it is July, right? July 31st. Wow, the end of this month, you will be competing on the Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. This is exciting stuff. People in the chat right now are like, Fort, let me get a Fort in the chat right now. As you are going to, in front of Dana White, we've been talking about this before, and now it is getting closer. It's the month of, and you look calm again. Calm, cool, collective as usual, Justin. What is the feelings now going into finishing off this training camp, going into this fight on July 31st?
I'm just feeling, I'm feeling real good. My body's feeling good. And like when I'm training, I'm just, trying to, push everything to that next level. I'm already in good shape. I'm already doing the things I'm supposed to. I'm just, every day I'm trying to take it to that next level. And, just so I can be that specimen when I step in there, ready for whatever comes.
Now, I am looking at your Instagram. I'm going to pull it up over here on the MMA Holes Live. That's you again. Let's do this. All right. Yeah, there's a million technical difficulties tonight. It's wonderful, wonderful. Oh, my God. So here's the deal, Justin. I got to say, when we were, this weekend, we were doing some gaming streams. By the way, you still playing some of those video games?
What games?
Any Fortnite or any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm going to go upstairs because I think I get better reception upstairs because the mic's cutting in and out. But I'm going to still be here.
All right.
So I'm just going to walk with you guys.
House
you guys
tour.
can take a tour of my house.
Yes, as you give a house tour, I'm going to try to get this damn thing. What the fuck is up my... All right, that's Justin. There's Justin giving a house tour.
Now
right
we
over
are
there.
in the hallway, guys,
Ooh,
where we walk
yes.
into a dark room.
That's very nice, that hallway.
Still walking into a dark room and walking into more dark rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently Justin doesn't like to use lights.
Well,
Now
it saves power.
All right, there's a chat room. All right, so what I'm trying to do...
now, this is the chair, the MMA hole chair. So,
The MMA
this
hole
is
chair.
where
All right,
all the
here we go.
happens.
All right, there we go. Okay, so here's the deal, Justin. I'm losing everything here tonight. It's a disaster. Anyway, I have on the screen right now you at the UFC Performance Institute. Hello. And this is interesting stuff. I want to get, maybe if you could walk us through what happened over here. Now, they sent you over to do some promo videos. I have on a screen right now you throwing some punches in the air, and this must have been something else. I'm going to play right here. There you go, swinging away at the UFC Performance Institute. It looks like it was a wonderful, wonderful time over there. So now explain what happened. You got sent over to the facilities over there to do some promo stuff?
Yeah, so what they did was, they flew me out Wednesday. All my, things, the promo, the video shoot, photographers, everything happened on Thursday. So, I wake up and we get sit in the room. They ask us what color we want, what size our clothes are. Basically the simple stuff. And then they go into the They shut me down. The facility, the UFC facility, besides the fact of the Performance Arts Institute, not the Performing Arts, the PI, Performance Institute, whatever. It's really cool. Like it's the atmosphere is like very laid back. You know what I mean? Like everyone was just chilling there. And I was like, man, that's a place I want to work. You know? So it was pretty cool being in their offices aside from the Performance Institute. But the Performance Institute was like phenomenal. They had like everything you could want from like they had where you lift weights. They have these floor plates where they can actually gauge your movement. So if you need to correct something, they have a camera that actually like gives you a diagram of your body, and you can actually like find the minor discrepancies, so you can like alter them to make it into a perfect exercising. So that was pretty cool. They have an awesome lunchroom, by the way. Like the food was pretty good. Yeah, after that, then they did some shoots. Just some video shoots of me like working out, hitting the bag, throwing punches, hitting mitts and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? Just that aspect of seeing the other side, because you always see the finished product on TV, and seeing how they kind of get there from all that stuff. Because I was literally for about like 3 hours maybe, them just shooting video of me like hitting pads, working out. And you're probably only going to see like maybe a minute, 2 minutes of that. So just seeing the process, being part of the process of how they make those 2 minutes that show on TV is pretty cool.
Now, when you got there, and we're live with Justin the Fort Sumter, 6-1 pro fighter fighting on the Contender Series, and we can't wait to do a live reaction to that thing. When you got there, what was it like? Like you walk into this place, and finally, the dreams are coming true, right? Like you walk in, you open the doors, you walk in. Did you just get chills? Did chills just run down your spine as you walk into the facility?
Well, not really. You know what I mean? It was kind of nostalgic. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, man, this is what I've thought about, for the last 7 years. This is where I wanted to be. And, kind of everything's falling into place. So, I kind of felt like I deserved to be there. I worked hard to do everything that I had to do to get there. So, it was kind of like a pat on my back, per se, saying that, hey, I did everything right. I did everything I was supposed to, and I am, the world's going to see why I think I'm the best, and I will be the greatest. So that was pretty cool.
Now, I noticed this. We're looking through your Instagram over here, and you can follow Justin the Fort Sumter at Fort Sumter MMA on IG, on Twitter, all over the goddamn place. Go check him out. Give him a follow. Now, if you look at your Instagram, I'm going to go back to your Instagram over here as I'm having some awesome times. Here we go. If you go over here now, you are with some interesting people over here, some UFC fighters. You got JoJo over here, who looks completely different in this picture than she usually looks. She's supposedly a sweetheart in real life. How is she?
Yeah, she was like the sweetest person I've ever, I probably met sweeter people, but just her personality, and she was like the sweetest. She kind of played a joke on me and my friend, like, because literally when you go in the Performance Institute, it's like there's a lot of doors. Mm-hmm. And so we were looking for this one place, and we were going back and forth. And she was like, "Oh, no, it's this way." And then like we were walking, and she was like, "Nah, just playing. It's this way." And like her accent is pretty. Like she has the sweetest voice with the Irish accent. Mm-hmm. It's just like it's real cool.
Yeah, she seems very soft spoken, and she seems like such a sweetheart. It's crazy how much she's a killer inside that cage.
I know. Like talking to her, I was like, man, she beats up people. So it's pretty cool.
Now, going through this even some more, and here you are with Francis Ngannou. Jesus Christ. And I have to say this. You guys don't look much different in size here. I swear to God, Francis Ngannou, I know he lost a little bit of weight. He says he was trying to cut down a little bit. But you guys look around the same size over here. What did it feel like putting your arms around this monster of a fighter?
Well, it felt good, you know what I mean? Because, like, in your head, you kind of build pictures of people. And, like, especially the heavyweight fighters, you're like, oh, man, these guys are, like, huge. These guys are the biggest in the world. But when I went up to get with them, and I was like, man, he's not really that big. He's not really that bigger than me. So that was definitely a shot because I was like, because me and my teammate Costa, we were warming up, getting ready for the shoot, and out of the corner of my eye, you see this guy wearing this like white shirt with these white shorts and like with a necklace. And I was like, what? That's Francis Ngannou. I was like, Francis, and he was like, hey, and then I was like, hey man, can I take a picture? And like he's a really nicest dude. He actually high crotched Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber was in the gym with us, and he high crotched him and put him over his head.
Oh, that must have been a sight. I mean, talk about two completely drastic differences in size. Francis Ngannou and Uriah Faber. That must have been hilarious. So
Yeah.
what is this like? This place seems to me like the chocolate factory. Like it feels like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like you're a kid going in here and it's like a candy store. Like where it's just like UFC fighters all over the place. These people that you see on TV and now they're just walking around over here. It's got to be something else. How do you keep your composure? Do you just walk around and be like, I belong here? Is that how this works? Or deep down are you like a big kid?
Well, you know what I mean? Deep down, I'm like, man, let's just like, I'm like super excited. Like, look at all this, look at all this. But, you know, like I keep my composure. I kind of, you know, tone it in, and I'm like more or less ready to, you know, take that responsibility, ready to kind of know that I belong there, know that, July 31st, I'm going to get that shot and get that contract. You know, so like everything I'm doing, I know I'm supposed to be doing. I know I'm supposed to be there. So that's the kind of feeling I'm feeling.
We are live with Justin the Fort Sumter, front of the MMA Hole 6-1 fighter, and he is on a 6-fight win streak going into the Contender Series. Now, it's time to talk a little bit of business here. Okay, I looked through the Tapology. I did a little bit of research. I'm going to put this on the screen right now. And you have not only are you going to be on the Contender Series, but we were looking into your opponent over here, and they did not line you up against any layup, okay? We are going over here. This Ian Heinisch, this man over here, a muscular young man who is 10-1. His last two fights were finishes, and he looks to be a very dangerous guy. It looks to be a striker as well. What can you say about your opponent?
I know Ian. He's he's a well-rounded guy. He's a good guy outside of the cage as well. I know he definitely likes to bring the fight and kind of pressure guys. But, this is just a different matchup and a different skill set that I possess that I don't think he's going to shoot that light's away.
It's
Give me a.
You have like a halo. It's like you're in heaven. There you go. Looks good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think I match up very well. You know, he's fought taller guys, but they haven't been, my stature. Because I think, as you can see, I'm a bigger middleweight. You know, like I stood up against I stood up against a light heavyweight and the heavyweight fighter, and I look like I belong in their weight classes. And I'm fighting at 85. So, I'm definitely a bigger guy, have longer reach, definitely quicker, and definitely going to bring more power. So, this is just ultimately a really good matchup. Granted, he has really good wrestling. He has a powerful overhand, but just with my range and my skills, I don't think it poses too much of a problem.
It is interesting. He is at 5'11", and you have a 9-inch reach advantage on the guy, if these stats are correct.
Actually, I have a 10-inch reach advantage, but my shoulder, when they were doing the measurements, it was kind of, my shoulder wasn't as long. I got it worked on by the lady at the Performance Institute, and so I definitely got an inch. But, it can say whatever. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now here, you got to think, if he does have some sort of wrestling background and he is shorter in stature and the reach, you got to think he's going to be keeping it close and he's going to try to grind on you in this. But regardless, looking at the matchup, it's really fascinating because both of you guys know how to take a fight home and finish a fight. And you got to think there's going to be fireworks in this fight on July 31st. Justin, knowing this man, knowing how he's performed, being inside the UFC Institute, now do you have a feeling, do you have a more of confidence going into this fight?
Oh, yeah, extremely confident. You know what I mean? Like, I did some slight pass-bys by him, and one thing that stood out was, like, when I was leaving, the driver that drives everybody around, he was like, oh, what's your name? And then I was telling him my name. It was like, oh, you're fighting? And I was like, yeah, I'm fighting Ian Heinisch. And he was like, oh, He's like a shorter guy, and it's like, yeah. Oh, he said he saw you in the hallway and you were scared. So ultimately, I know from that point that he believes like a fallacy per se, or there's something inside of him that thinks at this level people are scared. You know what I mean? Because I fight like it's my job basically now. So when I step in the cage, there's no like ulterior feelings. I'm just going in there to do work. So it's not it's not that oh, you have good skills. Hey, I have good skills too. I'm gonna put them together. And so just having that mindset, it's kind of a done deal in my head.
Do you find if fighters do that, if they're like, oh, he's scared, and they kind of talk some weird trash talk, do you feel that they indeed are just showing that they're the ones that are a little nervous going into a fight like this?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, because there's really no point, like knowing me since I became pro, like there's no point in saying someone's like scared or someone's frightened, you know what I mean? It's why there's really no point. Mm-hmm. So, you trying to impose your thoughts on somebody else's is kind of a self like reflection of what you feel you're trying to impose on them to make yourself comfortable,
I've noticed with the Contender Series, I've been really paying attention to it, especially ever since we found out that you and congratulations to you getting on this. Nick Newell as well getting on. It's great stuff. FAA, they're pouring out talent, and getting into the UFC is a big deal. But what I've noticed with the Contender Series is these shows seem to be one way, okay? And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it looks like they have a guy that they're pushing or a girl that they're pushing, and then they have the other one. You ever notice this? Have you watched like Antonia from Shevchenko, right? She's going through.
Yeah, that was a given. I like as soon as they put that name on, I was like, they're gonna. But the other girl, she was kind of tough. You know what I mean? I don't say they don't use all of their I'm gonna get this. Because that's bothering me because I can see it in the background.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, that's better.
Looking good.
Yeah, like, oh, shit.
Don't worry, I'm having technical difficulties. This is just one of them days. I'm just glad to have you on here. So, but go ahead, finish that thought. We can actually see you pretty good over here. Doesn't look that bad. You got like a nice backlight
right there.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm not saying they give them layups. Mm-hmm. But they definitely give them the upper hand when they come to publicity. When they say that this is who we're going for, but we're not going to give you an easy fight. So that's kind of their prerogative in how they want to go with things.
Mm-hmm. Do you think listen? Do you think that this is like one of the guys? He's 10-1, right? He's got some finishing power. He's got the look, right? He's got that weird look that the UFC seems to go for, right? Muscular guy, Caucasian, like this bullshit. Do you think that they're trying to push this kid? Be honest, Justin. Do you have a chip on your shoulder right now?
Not really. I mean, I was thinking, because that's LFA is one of Maynard's childs. He recently sold it, but they're doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, that's probably one of the guys that are looking at to kind of push forward a little bit, give them a bigger nudge. But this was a wrong matchup to give them if they're planning on doing that. But it's it is what it is. I'm just gonna go in there and fight. There's no hard feelings towards him or kind of the publicity they give him, because I'm going to do the same thing. Even if they gave me the publicity, I'm still going to go in there and do the same thing. So,
well, I've seen you, and I know you're a scary man. I look at this guy's record, right, and he comes in as a pro. He wins 8 in a row. He loses 1, then 2 in a row. It finishes over here. So not taking anything away from this guy, he definitely seems dangerous. No matter who you step in the cage with, it doesn't matter if people say they're a quote-unquote can or whatever. They're dangerous, right? Everyone is dangerous when they step into that cage, so you can't take anyone lightly. But let's be honest here. We're talking to the Fort. We are talking to Justin the Fort Sumter here, a goddamn MMA hole. Now, I don't know. I don't think anyone should take you lightly, Justin, all right? Now, look into that camera. Now, we know this man is watching, right? He's probably watching Ian Heine, whatever the hell his name is. Look into that camera, and you strike fear in Ian's eyes right now on the MMA holes. See?
I don't really have an intimidating face. I don't think, you know. Yeah.
Do you guys have is there like a stare down or something like that with the Contender Series, or they basically just throw you guys in to the fight?
I don't know. I don't think there is, because I haven't seen pictures of it. Because usually they take pictures, but the only thing I've seen is just the weigh-in photos and stuff. So I don't believe they will do the face-off.
So let's see. The fight's over. You finish him, right? You look over to the cage. Now, what is going to happen here? I noticed all the coaches like, go over to Dana White. Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to jump to that cage and stare at Dana White and be like, what are we doing here? Are you going to do that, or how's this going to work?
Nah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, all I need to say is basically in the cage. You know, whatever I do is in the cage. So, you know, hopefully, you know, I'm not going to sway his opinion by me going over there and trying to talk to him. I think most of my talking comes in the fighting. So, you know, hopefully if I feel it, I feel it. You know what I mean? If we like guys, and I'm gonna do the old shoot 'em up. You know, but, you know, other than that, you know, I kind of play that by ear. You know, if I feel it, I feel it. If I don't, I don't.
And one thing we've noticed is you are a class act. Every time you're in that cage, you do your job, you get it done quick, and you're a class act no matter what. As much as we try to push you in the direction of being an asshole, you're really not. I mean, so that's respect to you for that. Now, this fight is coming. Justin DeFort Sumter's going to be fighting July 31st on the Contender Series. Do you know where you stand on that? On the night where you're going to be fighting on that?
Nah, I do not know exactly where. I'm trying to find my computer. Yeah, I do not know exactly where I would be at. So, you know, hopefully I'm the first fight because, you know, I hate waiting. I'm the most impatient person in the world. Hopefully I fight the first, so that way I can relax and just chill. Because I got a couple of friends that are fighting that night as well. So
on the same Contender Series?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Good stuff. Is Nick fighting on the same card?
No, he's fighting on the week before.
Oh, okay. So now, how does this work? First of all, is Nick going to be in your corner for this?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. All right, great. Now, are you going to be flying in for Nick, or?
Nah, just because of work. You know, I got to take the days off for the fight, so I won't be able to make it.
Good stuff over there. Now, what do you think with Nick Newell? I think they named his opponent. I'm not sure if they named him yet.
Alex Munez or something, I believe.
Okay, so now let's talk about Nick. Now, if you're not familiar, Nick Newell is a badass, 14-1 pro fighter. He is the leader of FAA over there. He is basically the head honcho over there, and he is Justin DeFort Sumter's right-hand man, right? I guess you could say that. And both of you guys get called onto the show. Now that it's getting closer, are you guys talking any smack? Is there any smack going back and forth? Or are you just pushing each other and supporting each other?
Just pushing support, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, now it's like go time. You know, we're working hard. We're doing everything that we've been doing, just taking it to that next level. So all we do is, you know, train and push each other. You know, if someone's slacking, we kind of, hey, you know, push it up. Hey, take it, you know, step up and do what you're supposed to do. So, you know, we can go in there and get those 2 contracts.
There you go. All right, Justin DeFort Sumter live in the MMA Holes Big Fight Contender Series. I cannot wait to watch this. Now, Justin, let's open some phone lines. Let's see what these peeps. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to talk to a future UFC star right here, a goddamn champion. Where do you see yourself, Justin? Let's see. Now, I like to always ask the fighters, what do you see yourself at the end of the year, 2018? Where do you see Justin DeFort Sumter?
I see with you know, this UFC contract and one win in the UFC by the looking for December, you know, a fight in December, you know, but I don't want to look too far ahead, but yeah, a fight in the December for the UFC. So
you're on the Contender Series. They give you a contract, of course, and you fight on the card with McGregor and Khabib. What do you say about that?
I mean, that would be a good card to step on. You know, hopefully I get enough publicity about this where I can get the main event for the prelims. That would be dope. Yeah, that would be a dope card.
Yeah, Justin DeFort Sumter, I cannot wait. Now let's open up the phone lines at 516-522-0267. Get in on the lines with Justin DeFort Sumter. We're going to take a couple of calls. Going on to the Contender Series, July 31st. Exciting stuff. He went to the UFC Performance Institute. Here we go. 613, you are live with the MMA Holes and Justin Sumter. All right. Bye-bye. They just vanished. All right. 516-522-0267. Give us a call with Justin of Fort Sumter going to the Contender Series. So there's a bunch of people you met at the facility over there. Uriah Faber, how is he? Is he cool in person?
Yeah, he's real cool. He's real cool. Like it was funny. Like I didn't know who Nick was fighting at the time, but I saw him. Like we pop out of the elevator, and then, like
popped
we both
out.
turn. We pop out of the elevator. He's in one elevator. I'm in the other, and he turns before I get around the corner.
Hold on.
That guy looks awfully familiar, and I was like, wait a minute, that's somebody. And then I sat down and I saw his face, and I was like, oh, that's Uriah Faber. So we started talking, and he was like, cool. And he was like, where are you training at? And then I was like, oh yeah, I train with Nick Newell in Connecticut. And he was like, oh, it was like he kind of stuttered a little bit, and then I was like, wow, that's a little weird. We were just having a plain conversation, but it turns out his guy's fighting my coach. So
get out of here.
It didn't get super strange, but you know.
No kidding. So his guy's fighting Nick. Oh, this is gonna be good, huh? So he's like, oh, enemy territory. Let's try to be civilized here. You should have beat him up in the hallway. That probably wouldn't have worked out too well, right? If you just laid him out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right, 516-522-0267. Jesse, what do you think about this? Justin going to the Contender Series. How excited are you to watch the Fort?
I'm extremely excited, especially since he was one of the first interviews that you had on the show.
Yep.
So that's exciting. That's extremely exciting.
All right. 613, you're live with the MMA Holes in Justin the Fort Sumter. What's your name and what's on your mind? All right, so the phone lines are fucked up. All right. All right, so screw the phone lines. This is just a night of technical difficulties. Anyway, if you have any questions, I'll read it from the chat. We're going to go a couple more minutes and I'll let you go. You just came back from training, correct? Now, what is the deal with the weight cut? How's the weight cut going?
Oh, it's going good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting low 200s. So I'm trying to get down to like 95 next week and coast the rest of the way. And then looking to probably be within 5 to 7 pounds a week of. And then I should be good.
All right, so that's good. And you always make weight, right? You never really have problems when it comes to the $185.
Nah, you know, sometimes, you know what I mean, I make it a little bit harder, but I always make weight, you know, eat some Cheez-Its here and there, but, you know.
A true professional. Now, what do you think about the weigh-ins? They said at UFC 226, they said that the weigh-ins are still going to be in the morning. Dana White was saying that they were going to have it in the afternoon. He had enough. And then all of a sudden, boom, this week, fight week, the Ultimate Fighter finale and the UFC 226, we're going to have morning weigh-ins. What do you think about that situation?
Well, I love morning weigh-ins. You know what I mean? Like that's more time to rehydrate. You know what I mean? Like I'm usually on weight the night before. So, you know what I mean? That's perfect for me. You know, I cut the weight, make sure everything's right, go weigh in the morning, and then I'm set.
There you go. All right, so Justin, I'm excited about this. I can't wait. We will do a proper fight reaction to this. And you're saying Nick is going to be the week before. So basically, it's going to be a 1-2 punch of FAA on the Contender Series. What is the odds that both of you get a contract for the UFC?
Extremely in our favor.
There you go.
High odds. You know, like because I definitely think Nick's been training his whole life for this. You know, I mean, not to say like this is the pinnacle, but you know, like he's prepared for it. You know what I mean? He's fought like the top guys, and you know, some of those guys like Justin Gaethje are top in the UFC. So you know, it's real good. I'm just excited to see him fight in front of, so everybody else can see what I know. You know, I know he's good. I know he's an awesome fighter.
I think it's back open and running again. Okay, great. So Justin, you know what? This is the thing. Anytime they say when you get married, right, and it rains, they say it's good luck. Love about the whole Gaethje thing is the connection to Nick Newell. And for some reason, I'm seeing something here. I am seeing Gaethje just catching a bunch of L's, Nick Newell getting into the UFC and getting a rematch and beating him this time. What do you think the odds of something like that happening?
I've actually been thinking about that myself. You know what I mean? I think it's highly likely that could happen. Just the way, you know, how things work and how things, you know, like you kind of got to put energy to it. And you know what I mean? I think Nick is kind of putting the energy towards what he wants. You know what I mean? I haven't asked him if he wants to rematch him again. But you know, I definitely think that's on his radar. And if the cards fall right, it'll be a great opportunity for him.
That would be something else. I mean, that would be the story. That's almost like the movie ending, right? That's almost like the full circle story of the Nick Newell. I mean, I think James Vick is an even tougher opponent than Ally Quinta. I think just the matchup just seems like it's going to be very difficult for Gaethje. What do you think about that, Vick versus Gaethje?
Well, I mean, like what Gaethje has is a pace and a phenomenal will. Ally Quinta is kind of a bull-nosed guy that kind of comes forward, has good footwork. But James Vick, he's tricky. He's got the long distance. He's really slick on the ground. So this is a very interesting fight. I haven't really thought about it too much, but it's a very interesting fight.
Now, what do you think about the UFC 226 this weekend? I mean, the top 3 are bangers. Let's just go through them real quick. Ngannou versus the Black Beast. Who you got in that fight?
Well, it's a toss-up, really, you know what I mean? But I have Ngannou with the explosive power aspect. But I would say Derek Lewis, over his last couple of fights, he showed that he's a little bit more well-rounded than we thought. He's not just a slugger. He can do some slight wrestling, do some grappling, but it's kind of if it goes past the second round. I think Derek Lewis has the upper hand, but Ngannou still has 2 fists. You know what I mean? 2 fists and kicks. He threw a kick the last Stipe Miocic fight, so he might have added that. And looking at him, meeting him in person, he looks definitely a little bit trimmer. Definitely his muscle mass is decreased a little bit, so some of his explosiveness could have transferred to his agility. And, he could definitely pose a different threat. Definitely been seeing videos of him wrestling. So hopefully, what I want to see is a great match between both of them, where they both show their different facets of MMA. Because we both know that they can knock each other out.
Sure.
What we don't know is, do they have really good jiu-jitsu or do they have really good wrestling? So, we know Ngannou didn't have really good wrestling because he got taken down by Stipe Miocic, but hopefully he improved that, and we can see some development in both of them. Does he live at the facility? Are they just breeding him at the facility? What is that about? Well, no, I know he trains at Couture. I think he trains mostly at Extreme Couture.
Okay.
But he does a lot of work in the Performance Institute. I think it's more for publicity. They can actually see what he's doing, video it, get angles that they want, and kind of feed it out there just to develop kind of like I was thinking about it, this facility is kind of set up to where the camera can be in a certain spot and they can get good shots. So I think also, as well as it's there to help the fighters, it's definitely a good video place where you can shoot video, take pictures, and get great angles wherever you go. So I think that's one of the main factors in them making that institute.
That institute looks like it's ridiculous. Would you want to train there? So say now you're going to get into the UFC after the Contender Series, of course. Now, are you going to pick up and say, okay, I'm going to go over to this facility and visit this place as much as possible? Would you like to do that in the future? Yeah,
probably 2, maybe 3 days, if that. Vegas is all right. I'm not going to say anything bad about it, but just my experience, it's kind of not my vibe. The people there are cool, but I just saw a little part. There might be. I would definitely like to go explore, like the mountains or hiking and all that other stuff. But around the strip is kind of not my style.
So you're not down with hookers and blow?
No.
Yeah, Vegas is a dangerous place, and yeah, you probably should stay far away. Unless you're fighting there, then it's a different story, right? Then it's a different story. Let's talk about the main event. We are live with Justin the Fort Sumter fighting July 31st on the Contender Series. Cannot wait. Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. What people are saying is a super fight at heavyweight. Daniel Cormier is walking around at a bigger size. Some say he's actually bigger than Stipe right now. He's a big bloated mess. What do you think about Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic?
Well, I think Daniel is a phenomenal athlete, and I mean, in the strike force, he showed that heavyweight really doesn't matter, and he dominated. Also, he went down to 205 and he dominated. So this is kind of Stipe's, call to greatness.
I'm gonna wrap one on one shoulder. I'm gonna wrap you
Hold on,
on
we got a
the other
donation
shoulder,
coming in.
and you're gonna need a fucking army to come take that belt off me.
That is definitely not T-Man.
NIGMOD.
That's definitely not T-Man. The fuck? Oh my god. So T-Man, I don't even know what to say there. Anyway, Jessica, go back to the fuck was
What
that?
happened? My screen's not on. So
Yeah,
I can't see.
you watch it back on the replay. I don't even know.
There's
So-
no way that was T-Man. There's just
Someone
no
is
way.
pretending that they are. I don't even listen. It is what you're gonna have to watch the replay on that one. Anyway, Justin, go back to DC versus Stipe as I completely got thrown over my game.
Yeah. So I think this is Stipe's call to greatness because I mean he's a great fighter. This fight is because we already know Daniel Cormier is great, and he's trying to further prove that with this fight against Stipe. One thing that we're going to have to look for is we know Daniel can take a punch, especially at heavyweight, because he fought like Bigfoot Silva and all those other guys that are great strikers that are heavy hitters. But going against Stipe is also a decent wrestler himself.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching videos. He had Coleman in his corner with Ryan Bader working on wrestling techniques, wrestling defenses. So if he's able to withstand a takedown from Cormier, I think there's a better chance. But if Cormier is able to take him down with ease, I think it's gonna Cormier is definitely gonna be the victor.
There you go. Yeah, I'm feeling heavy on Cormier. I don't know what it is. I mean, Stipe is a beast, and he does have that wrestling. But I mean, God, Cormier undefeated at heavyweight. I like Daniel Cormier. I'm a big fan. I'm a closet Daniel Cormier fan. Not as big a fan as you, Justin. Of course, you're I'm your number one fan. It's like Misery. Anyway, all right, Justin, it was good to have you back on. Come back whenever you would like. Right before you jump onto the Contender Series, feel free to jump back in on the MMA holes. Let us know. Give us an update. And if we don't speak to you by then, good luck on the show, July 31st. I cannot wait for the fight. Any last words? Give a shout out to sponsors, the Fort T-shirts, whatever is out there. Let us know right now.
Yeah, so you guys can check out all my sponsors on my shirt. I should have the mock-up coming up sometime this week. You can go to my Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook and check those shirts out. They're $25 a piece. You can hit me up on Venmo, PayPal, whatever is your convenient. If you live in Connecticut, you can meet up and give me cash, whatever. I got On Point Crowd Therapy, On Point Chiropractic, Gracie Medical, Twin River, Twin Lights Repair Shop, Redwood Coast, Shoreline Family Chiropractic, On Point Chiropractic. I know I'm missing a couple. Instant Muscle Mills, Wash and Wag. There's probably more. I'll shoot you in a message, and you can put it in the comments.
Yes, send me whatever you need, and I'll drop it in the comment section for sure.
Yeah, and also shout out to PG Sports. They've been making some really dope gear. It says Blood, Sweat, and Success. They're a company out in Northeast that helps guys out, making them their own shirts and stuff like that. So they're pretty cool. Shout out to my fiance, the most wonderful person in the world. It's actually her birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
So they say happy birthday. She said thanks. But so appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys for following me along my way, and having me as that first guest, and having me be the first person in the. Well, have you got somebody? Yeah, you got Catch. Yeah.
Well, I got to say this. We are building a new studio. We're putting a new studio together. So those horrible donations that come in, we're going to turn it around. The first in-house guest in that studio, we want the Fort. We want the Fort first in-house guest. So, Justin, we're going to hold a seat for you. and we can talk about your victory at the Contender Series. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, Justin, good luck. We'll talk to you soon, and go get him. Justin the Fort Sumter, live on the MMA Holes. What do you guys think about that? Justin Sumter fighting on the Contender Series. He went to the Performance Institute. It is wonderful, wonderful. And I had a million technical difficulties